Okay, here's another question that has a linear equation and it wants a length. So the straight line L passes through this point and has a gradient of 3. The point Q also lies on L, so the distance between P and Q is 3 root 10. We have to work out two possible places for Q. Okay, so if you've got a line, let's think about it. It has a gradient of 3. Okay, so we've got our point, which is 4, 5. That's P. And this is our line L. Q is also on this line, and it's a distance of 3 times root 10. So if you imagine what that means is that Q could be here or Q could be here. So there's two possible points for it to be. So first of all, let's find an equation for L. So remember, two ways to do this. We can do the old way you did before. Y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, well, we have a point that it goes through, and we have a gradient. So we know that y is equal to 5. That's equal to a gradient of 3 times x value of 4 plus c. So I've got 12. So minus 7 is equal to c. Okay, the other one, remember we said this is normally how it's done at A level. So I do y minus the y value equals my gradient times x minus the x value. So that means that y minus 5 equals 3x minus 12. And then I have to add 5. So y is equal to 3x minus 7. We get the same answer we got before. So now we've got the equation of L. Now we have to go from P to one of our points of Q. So what are we going to do? So we need to go by 4 in one direction and 5 in the other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the square root of x minus 4 plus y minus 5. That is equal to 3 root 10. Now remember, 3 root 10 is distance. The distance is the distance from this x point, which is going to be this x and this y are going to be where Q is. So now I've got that. I'm going to try and solve it. So what have I got to do? Well, this is all square rooted, so I'm going to square it. So now I've got that x minus 4 squared plus y minus 5 squared is equal to 90. Okay, because 3 3s are 9, square root of 10 times square root of 10, 10, 90. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I've got an x and a y, which I can't solve because there's two unknowns, but I do have y stated in terms of x. So I know that 3x minus 7 is equal to y. So I'm going to sub that in. So instead, in this bracket, instead of y, I'm going to write 3x minus 7. Now has become x minus 4 squared plus 3x minus 7 minus 5 squared equals 90. Now I've got an equation that only has x's in it. Expand out my brackets. So this one becomes x squared minus 8x plus 16. And add to that. This bracket expanded, and that's going to give me 9x squared minus 72x plus 144. All of that is equal to 90. I collect together all my like terms. I've got 10x squared minus 80x plus 70 equals 0. Now I can simplify this. If I simplify it, I'll still have the same solutions. So I can divide through by 10. So divide this by 10. Divide this by 10. Divide this by 10. So x squared minus 8x plus 7. So now I can factorize that. Use a calculator. X minus 7, x minus 1 is 0. So x equals 7 or 1. So that means if this is x equal to 4 at p, this will be 7, and this will be 1. So now what we have to do is find the y coordinates to go with it. How do I find the y coordinates? Well, okay, so let's call this one A and this one B. So for A, substitute it in. I know my x value is 7. I know my equation. So L's equation is y equals 3x minus 7. So that's going to be 3 times 1. What's the name we're doing? Sorry. 3 times 7 minus 7. Well, 3 7s 21, 3 27, that's 14. So that means that this is 7, 14. So B. B, I know that y equals 3 times my x, this time is 1, minus 7. So that means that y is going to be minus 4. So this point is minus 4. So I've got my 2 points, and I'm just going to make sure for the A1 mark that I state clearly that Q is 7, 14, or 1 minus 4. And that is my final answer.